Join us next week when we go over third-year players. We're going to be talking about how they did in their second year, what kind of boost they could see in that third year, and we'll also recap guys that picked up their fifth-year option. So let's get into it. See you then.
Get an explanation of this shirt over here?
Oh, my shirt?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, Pat McAfee.
Shout out.
You should absolutely listen to his podcast. He's great. He has a very interesting take on football, being kind of like a wild man, but like in the NFL, so he knows how shit works, but he also has this like weird take. He's also the new commentator of SmackDown, and that's what this shirt's about, because he's got that Pittsburgh accent, and he's just great. You should check him out. If you don't like him, fuck you.
Hey, Pat McAfee. Hey, appreciate the sponsor. The check cleared, so really appreciate that. We'll plug you anytime you need it.
He does not need it.
Yeah, he does not need it.
All right, well, we'll tag him in it anyway. All right, guys, the trade value episode part 2
continues.
Round 2, tier 4. So let's start there. Tier 4. Let's kick it over to this camera. Okay, let's do top 4.
Yeah, that's fine.
So let's reveal it for you guys listening. You're doing it wrong. Do it on YouTube. Just kidding. You can listen however you want. We appreciate you guys listening. So the 201, Trey Sermon. 202, Trey Lance. 203, Elijah Moore. 204, Zach Wilson. So this is a really interesting stretch here because we had a few trades.
Yeah.
So and just on the off chance that you're just jumping in on this episode and missed the round 1, we'll do a quick recap. Is that cool?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, take it away.
So the 1-1 was Najee. 1-2, Kyle Pitts, followed by Travis Etienne at the 103. Jamar Chase was 104. Javonte Williams, 105.
What?
And then Devonta Smith, 106. Trevor Lawrence, 107. 108 was Jalen Waddle. Rashad Bateman, the 109. Justin Fields at the 110. Travis Marshall Jr., the 111. And Michael Carter ended the first round at the 112.
I also want to apologize to our loyal listeners. I'm sorry we had to repeat ourselves. And if you just came in on round 2, part 2, what are you doing, man? But
it does seem weird.
It's weird, but
I'm not gonna watch the first part.
Awkward.
Maybe he only had second round picks. He or she. Only had second round picks. He just wants to know how he or she did.
Could be the most recent episode, you know? Click on the most recent episode.
That's fair.
All right, well, I take back what I said. Let's start with you, Doug.
Fucking should.
I feel like I messed up, you know? Just look at it on YouTube if you want to know what happened in the first round.
Or follow us on Twitter.
But I'll jump in. It sounds like I'm being prompted to talk about the 2.01.
It is your pick.
Because this was my pick in our draft. And I took, my boy Trey Sermon. I was so happy and sad all at the same time. I love that I got Trey Sermon. I really genuinely thought that I was going to have to take Terrace Marshall Jr. here because I wanted him more than I wanted Trey Sermon. But Marshall got taken at the 111. So I took my boy Trey Sermon, and I'm super happy. Sorry, Jeff Wilson, about your injury, but that's just
how the cookie crumbles.
Stocks going up. Could have been anybody. Marlon Mack. But you know what I actually traded into the 2.02 after the 201, and I took Trey Lance at that pick. But you know what actually happened was I ransomed Trey Lance because I knew a guy who had just taken Terrace Marshall Jr. who really wanted Trey Lance at the 203. So it's a dick move. I sniped him. I took Trey Lance, and then I ransomed Trey Lance for Terrace Marshall Jr.
It was one of the funniest things ever to watch live.
Hey, just a side note: if you guys are gonna do your dynasty drafts, man, try to get everybody in the room and drink some beers. Like it gets fun, and like you'll see when 203 Elijah Moore, 204 Zach Wilson. We'll get into it, but it's a lot of fun. So
I've been quoting something that Danny said to you since draft night, just because it's so funny. So you told him like. Once he took Marshall, you were like, well, how about I trade up to the 2-2 and take Trey Lance? And he goes, well, guess you got Trey Lance.
Yeah.
And it made me laugh because then like 10 minutes later, he's like, all right, so what about Trey Lance? like, what do we got to do to make this happen?
It was so...
He's trying to call your bluff so hard and couldn't hold it for 10 minutes.
Well, and that's what was fun is had we not been in the same room, he wouldn't have traded into that 111 spot to get...
would have never happened.
We'd all have our future seconds.
Yeah. So. All these trades would have never happened.
Did you mention how you traded into 2-2?
So the funny thing is, So me and Danny were together. All four of us were.
Yep.
And I had the 2-1 and the 2-4, and he had the 2-3.
Yeah.
So I leapfrogged him by trading the 2-4 and a 2023 third and Anthony Miller to move up 2 spots to snipe him, take Trey Lance, and at that point. I would have been happy. I like Trey Lance a lot.
Yeah.
You should.
I would have been happy with my 49ers weird stack that I got there. But I ransomed him and ended up giving him Trey Lance and a 2023 second and the 207 for Terrace Marshall Jr. And I really have all the math here. If you want to hear it, I essentially got the 111 by giving up 3 seconds, a third, and Anthony Miller, which is fine with me because I think that after the 203, my 204 would have been a drop-off, a disappointment in my eyes. I would have traded out of it. So for me to have gotten 3 of the top 13 players,
it's awesome.
I love it.
I want just like a little bonus credit for facilitating that trade.
You get all the credit.
I helped that out a lot because you guys were at a standstill, and I don't remember exactly what I said, but I was kind of just like
throw in the 207.
Yeah, like throw the 207 in, and that now you got a deal. And they both went, okay, yeah, and then it like snowballed from there.
Hashtag like, no trade calculator.
Yeah, you guys are forgetting about this pick that neither of you really want that bad. Like
for sure,
go for it. Like.
So it worked out. So I ended up getting my guy Trey Sermon and my guy Terrace Marshall Jr.
and Bateman.
And I got Bateman. Yeah. I'm so happy.
Hell of a draft.
So know anything's possible, guys.
If you really put your heart to it, you can trade the 2-4 and the 2-7 in a future second, and Anthony Miller in a future third. But move up 4 to 5 spots.
That is the like cost benefit analysis of like obviously we do a 12-hour rule for our rookie draft, and that's great because you can talk trades, and people can live their life and still pick. But like there is something to all being in the room. Like some crazy shit like that is gonna happen because. Especially if you got beer involved.
Well, it doesn't give you time to second guess it either.
Yeah,
which I think is a big.
You just got to make a move.
True. Yeah. If either of us were sitting on that without staring each other in the face, never. And
I think that's fun. Like, and obviously, it would have sucked if either of these guys would have walked away thinking, "Oh, I hate what I just did."
Yeah,
but
like
neither
I
of you
got drunk
did.
and fucked it up.
Yeah,
but no,
neither of you did. You got the players you wanted.
Yeah, he recouped what he spent to get to the 111.
Yeah.
Plus, he got Trey Lance
and then Elijah Moore.
So he ended up with, Yeah, well, I really do think there's a huge drop off after the top 15 players, and he only had one of those picks. He traded in, he got the guy he wanted, and then he ended up with future draft capital gained from doing the whole thing.
So spoiler, the 203 was Elijah Moore.
Hell yeah.
And then we go to the 204, where me and Christian had a little bidding war.
A little bit of a bidding war there.
So this is another trade.
These, so we're in year 3. This is year 4?
3. This is our third rookie draft.
Third rookie draft, so year 4.
So year 4, so I had Deshaun Watson and Tua, which I wasn't entirely comfortable with Tua. I don't know how to feel about him. I just want a little insurance.
That's fair.
So as you can see, Trey Lance and Zach Wilson kind of went, I would imagine, a little earlier than most. But
Wilson for sure.
Yeah, Wilson for sure, definitely.
But that was the bidding war.
But that was also a result of us being in a room together. Because
so he's got the Deshaun Watson issue.
Yeah.
And I have the Aaron Rodgers issue.
Yeah.
So both of us were trying to maybe overpay a little bit to go get Zach Wilson, a guy we do like, but could have fallen. And so it led us into a bidding war, and I just happened to lose said bidding war.
Yep. And so I ended up...
love it.
From the first episode, what I was talking about... so I ended up paying Mike Williams, Devin Singletary, and a 2023 second. To move up into this. So I do feel I overpaid, because I don't know, Devin Singletary is a question mark, but he's also the one. As well as Mike Williams is going to be a free agent next year, so he could possibly go somewhere and be a pretty strong player.
Yeah.
In the 2022 second, but I was willing to pay that because I offloaded guys that were question marks, and I also added Zach Wilson as well as the 3-2. I'll get into that later. So
my issue was I offered exclusively picks. I offered a first next year, and I think something else. I don't exactly remember, and that goes into knowing the person you're trading to, because I don't know, personally, I would rather have a first than Mike Williams and Devin Singletary.
Right.
But he felt like he needed depth, which is what won out in the end. That.
I mean, I don't know if he felt like he needed it. That team needed depth.
Well, that's fair.
But I do know what you're saying.
And the 2022 first isn't a name.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's why I ultimately lost. And honestly, my team, as top heavy as it is, it needs depth too. For situations like this, I didn't have names to trade.
Right.
Like anybody that I could have added on were not going to be as good as Devin Singletary or Mac Williams. So once he told me, I wanted names, I was kind of just shit out of luck.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's funny. This is first of all, you guys overpaid, but you overpaid for
I didn't
insurance.
Overpay. He overpaid.
Right. You guys were both willing to overpay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But you never get your money back on insurance unless your house burns down. So you got to have that shit when you need it.
Definitely.
But, it cracks me up. If I had known my 2-4 would have been so valuable, I would have held on to it.
See, I honestly think if I had offered, had you been sitting there, I feel like you might have taken mine over his.
100%.
Getting the first round.
100%.
And that's just the roster.
Well, I mean, if you'll know, I mean, no one's counting, you guys aren't doing the math in the world, but I did not give up any first, and I did not give up any 2022 picks at all in my trades. So, but if you look at the trades, we're talking about Ian, he needs players, he needs names, he doesn't care about picks. I offloaded 4 players to him, and AJ offloaded 2 players to him in this draft cycle. So he picked up 6 depth pieces. So, I mean,
good.
That's great.
And I got a 3-2, and I did my research, and so that pick's fucking valuable to me.
Yeah, whatever. You would have never got him at 3-2 if I saw it 2-7, baby.
No.
So now that we've kind of talked about what happened in our draft, talking about what we would trade these picks for. This is where I definitely think it gets very, very just gut feeling. Who are guys you like? Because people are going to miss in the first round, and then once you get into the second and third round, these picks are valuable, but it is really gut feeling. I'm looking at guys like Kenyon Drake. Honestly, Melvin Gordon, I think, personally falls to the second round just because he's an unknown for where he's going next year, and I think Javonte Williams is about to take his job.
I think that definitely dropped his.
Yeah, and so I think he's like a front end of the second round guy.
Okay.
Another guy I would look at around there, Anderson. You had him at the end of the first. I kind of have him in the second. Devonta Parker, like guys like that. Guys. Mike Williams actually is a guy that I would take at the beginning of. And so it's guys that you like that you're willing to give these picks up for, kind of thing.
I'm with you. You touched on a couple that I had put in there. I agree with you on the Melvin Gordon, but if someone's not keeping up with the times,
that's fair.
You could probably get more for him. I think Robbie Anderson's a similar. Like, if you think of what Robbie Anderson did year one with the Panthers, and you think, oh, Curtis Samuel's not there, like, shit's through the roof.
Yeah.
But obviously, my boy Marshall's going to get in there.
Trash.
But not everyone's in tune. They don't all know that, like, his college wide receivers coach was the OC there. Like, people don't know all that shit. But I'm with you. I had Drake and Williams. I also threw Corey Davis, Mecole Hardman, and James Robinson right here, as well as Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
So
that's fair.
Just a couple of guys.
Nice. Right.
Acapella guys. They sing without.
All right. I think
no
are you guys
needed.
Yeah, completely comfortable moving on.
I was just going to review for a second. If you didn't see in the part one, go back because we did talk about a few rules of trading, and there was just a lot to unpack. And what he just said was like you could sell Melvin Gordon at a name value if someone didn't do the research. Sure. Mm-hmm. So just it's worth throwing it out there or starting a discussion, and also, as we said before, like if you want your guy, you got to overpay it for it, and that's what I did, and I'm very happy. So be aggressive and just know.
I will, just to like add on to that, I would rather die on a hill of a guy I love and get fucked, like overpay and it not work out, than wait and just be screwed either way, or take a guy that I don't like.
Or to get nitpicky and then watch the player you want blow up on someone else's team.
Like if you don't overpay, like let's say you didn't overpay for Zach Wilson, I got him, and he turns into a perennial top 8 quarterback. You're going to be kicking the shit out of yourself,
Blurf.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that he will. Who knows? Yep. But like you gotta make moves for guys that you believe in.
Also, for someone that like a Mike Williams and Devil Singletary that I did give up adds depth to someone, but doesn't start on my roster. Yeah. So why would I hold on to him?
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
So sorry to go on to that, but let's move on to 205 to 208. So I'm gonna read these guys off. So 205 was Kadarious Toney. 206 Amon Ra St Brown. I was waiting for. Did you hear me pause because I knew that was coming. 207 Pat Freiermuth and 208 Chuba Hubbard. So I'm gonna kick it over to you guys and what you.
This was very interesting because 26 to 28, St. Brown, Freiermuth, and Hubbard were all the same guy. He traded back and got all these guys, and so I would like to think that he believed in them. But Rondale Moore is on the board, and you take St. Brown? That seems sketchy to me. I don't. Maybe not to you guys.
Maybe if he takes.
I think he's. I would have honestly, if I had held the 204, I would have gone with Rondale Moore.
Yeah.
This is criminal.
Yeah.
All three of these guys,
and
personally.
And then Freiermuth, I know what he's thinking because he needs a tight end. He really wanted Kyle Pitts bad.
I tried to give him Jared Cook just for an upgrade in the third.
But
should take him.
But I don't know that, like, I like Freiermuth, but I don't know that he's going to be the answer there. And then Chuba, I've been pounding the table for Chuba since we started this podcast. Mm-hmm. But him going behind Christian McCaffrey, like,
it's scary.
I don't know who knows. Like Christian, there were rumors about them being willing to trade him, and so maybe Chuba ends up being the starter.
Never gonna happen.
But it's like, I don't know. I didn't really like any of those picks. That being said, Toney, that's a value pick.
Oh hell yeah!
I love, and that's Mario. He took Waddle. His biggest need was receiver. I don't know that he necessarily would have took Toney, but it was like
That's a scary.
Hey, dude, shoot your shots. Like,
I mean,
he needs a receiver.
When you said
he's
in
got
the
two
first
of them.
round about him taking 3 running backs, it's like kind of the same
Yeah,
thing here.
exactly. Like, there wasn't a running back that is better than Toney at that point. There's not.
Yeah.
Like,
for me, Jalen Waddle and Kadarious Toney are both kind of like high risk players.
for sure.
So
And I
that-
mean,
I
both
would-
of them
I've found a
could not
safer
work out.
choice.
Both of them could not work out, but now he's like, at least he didn't take Toney and then Chuba.
For sure.
Or sorry, Waddle and then Chuba.
Right.
Like,
he has
now he's-
2 starters potentially.
Yeah.
Especially like those guys could both start week 1.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I was talking to the guy who made all those picks, and he made like a Heath Miller reference for
Yeah.
Freiermuth. So I think he's really high on Freiermuth, and I think he should be. Obviously, if you erase the magic that is Kyle Pitts, Freiermuth would have been the top tight
For sure.
end in
Yeah,
most
yeah.
classes. So there's a lot of potential, but yeah, we just don't like St. Brown. I hope. It's good that someone bet on him because everyone else in this room is betting against him. And then, I don't think that it was that smart to take Chuba over, Gainwell personally.
Yeah, for sure.
But shit, man, this is all about when you have 3 picks in a row. It gets weird.
I will say, I think Chuba overall is a better prospect. Like, pure talent wise.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's better than Gainwell. But where he goes, you don't even know if he's going to see the field for a while. He probably isn't. Like,
For sure.
Like, unless Carolina is just terrified that McCaffrey got hurt. And so they're just going
They
to
did pay him a lot of
take
money.
him from 98% of the offensive snaps to like 60 all of a sudden. But I just don't see that happening. Like,
Yeah. I mean, it was a different organization that extended CMC.
that's
right?
that's fair. Yeah.
So I don't.
Who knows? And maybe they will trade him, and then Chuba ends up being a starter.
There's no way, right?
I
No
mean,
one's willing
if they
to
can get
pay.
Deshaun Watson,
I mean, what did
Oh, dude,
but
Terrence
wait,
Marshall Jr.
he
through
was-
the moon, dude. That's amazing.
he got picked in what, the 5th?
Marshall
No,
or Chuba, yeah, he was like a
the
fifth.
5th or 6th round
Yeah,
pick.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Man,
I mean,
that poor guy, dude. Also, I just had to say, if he came out in 2019,
Oh my god,
he's like,
he was a 4th round pick.
okay, he was a 4th. He would have been a second at the least.
Oh yeah, he would have been probably ahead of J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, poor guy.
damn.
Anyway, talking about trade value for these picks, this even more so. This is where I'm looking at like Christian Kirk.
Wow.
I don't know, Sterling Shepard maybe, but that even seems rich. James Conner around
Yeah.
this area. David Johnson, Cohen, like guys like that.
Yeah, I put Cohen on the next tier. I left
fair.
David Johnson out of this conversation just because
He
I
sucks.
want to cry. Yeah, I put Jamal Williams, Tony Pollard, kind of like notable backups. Ronald Jones is in here. I also added Sony Michel.
Yeah.
And then this is where the tight end money hits, like your Hayden Hurst, your Zach
Yep.
Ertz. I put T.Y. Hilton. I also put Ryan Fitzpatrick and Ryan Tannehill, which are 2 very different quarterbacks, but I feel like they don't have much more value than this.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
So
100%. I think, again, it's like at this point, it really is just like who you feeling.
Right.
Like, don't let anybody make fun of you for trading the fucking 2.6 through the 2.8 for a guy you like. Like, who fucking cares? Like,
hell
anyway,
yeah.
let's reveal the rest of the fucking second round.
You got it.
Let's do it.
209 to 212. So 209, Rondale Moore.
Love
210,
it.
Amari Rodgers.
Love it.
211, Kenneth Gainwell. And then the 212, the first vet off the board, Gerald Everett.
See, and this is the issue I have with the 2.6 to the 2.8 is I like the 2.9 through the 2.11. All 3 of those players I like better than the players he took.
Yeah.
I agree.
So at that point, why wouldn't you trade back and get Freiermuth? I feel like you definitely would have.
You know,
I don't know. Like,
Never know.
It's not that he
Positional.
didn't talk to people about trades.
that's fair. That's fair.
He must have, he picked up that 2-7 in a trade in this draft. That's the trade we missed. I believe AJ
that's right.
might have given up the 2-7.
No, that was Danny.
No, it wasn't.
Danny
Yeah, he
gave up the
traded back.
2-7 for 2 future seconds. So 2022, 2023. So, he traded into that pick. I guess he had to take what he could at the moment.
Yeah, but you could have. I don't know. But
with you. I agree
love
with
Rondale
you.
Moore. I love Amari Rodgers. I
Yep.
mean, Amari Rodgers' value falls significantly if A-Rod does leave. But I still love
Roger.
him as a player. I mean, a thicker Randall Cobb. Like, let's go.
Thick.
And then Kenneth
Thick
Gainwell. I'm a known
nation.
Eagles hater. Everybody on this podcast is an Eagles
Yeah,
hater.
I hate Zach Ertz more than I hate the Eagles. But
I
go
hate
ahead.
Nick
But-
Foles more than I hate the Eagles.
But
Kenneth Gainwell.
Kenneth Gainwell there, like at
I
the
like him more than
211.
I like the Eagles.
Yeah, like
crazy.
I mean, he's gonna provide a role for you, a pass catching role. It seems like they're gonna move Miles Sanders to more of the like first and second down back, and then Kenneth Gainwell comes out as the third down back. Love
No,
that.
We
Love
are
that.
we are a PPR league, so
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you're not a PPR league, I have zero interest in Gainwell, but well, maybe not zero, but not as much.
Let me ask you a question. What do you think the chances of Miles Sanders getting an extension or re-signing with the Eagles is at this point in his career?
Not super high,
Right.
like.
So you got to think.
But I don't.
I hate to sit on a Chase Edmonds type of guy and
Yeah.
wait for him to be the number one guy, but it kind of feels like that with Kenneth Gainwell.
I guess, but I don't know that Gainwell. I don't know that I ever saw Gainwell as like a true number one anyway. He was always a complimentary guy. So if
Yeah.
they do get rid of Miles Sanders, they're just going to bring somebody else in.
kind of
Like,
like,
it's not-
Chase Edmonds.
Like you might have 1 year because they couldn't find somebody where Gainwell is the guy. And I still don't know that he would produce. I mean, is he your RB3, RB4 on your roster? Like,
It just depends on how much of his elusiveness translates to the NFL.
that's fair.
It's just I wouldn't bet on him, but
Yeah.
there's a world where he gets in the right scheme and just goes off.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I will say he will be the least surprising of the second round guys. Whatever. He'll be not that surprising of the second round guys if he does go off.
Yeah.
Like, because he does have the talent. It just not sure that I'm convinced that it would translate, but I would definitely take him over Chuba,
Yep.
St. Brown, Hubbard. Honestly, I would probably take him over Toney, but I just value running backs more.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I hate to scramble what's up on the board, or we could even look at, Rondale Moore's ADP is in the first round. So
And
He's
he
like the
went
109 or
So-
something.
That's
Like
well,
a
that's insane to me. That's
I think it's insane as well. I really like him, but like I
Yeah,
said,
not
I would have
in the
taken him at
first
the
one.
111.
That's still crazy to me. Like, he's super talented, but he is 5'7",
right.
and he's going to an offense that has weird question marks because you know they're going to produce, but you don't know who's going to produce.
Yeah, you never
Like-
know.
Talking about the coach?
Paper mache Kingsbury up there, man. The stiff wind doesn't come through.
Well, what do you guys think as far as like vets, like trades?
I thought it was a good spot for Everett.
Yeah,
I don't know why. Obviously I want a piece of the Seattle offense, and I wanted it bad enough to
Yeah.
swing hard for.
honestly, this is going to be really funny because it's two guys that I have on my roster that I could not get anybody to trade for second round picks.
Okay.
I think these are good spots for like J.D. McKissick and Naeem Hines. The late second round, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
They put up numbers in a PPR league. Maybe not if you're not in a PPR league. Both those guys are very catch dependent. But then I'm even thinking like,
I wouldn't pay anything for McKissick until I see what Curtis Samuel's role is.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. But honestly, Mooney, Crowder, I don't know. Like, they're a little low, but like, I don't know. This is a hard place to think.
Yeah.
Like,
This is where I had Cohen, I had Brashad Perryman.
Okay.
I even had Michael Gallup in this area, and Marvin Jones Jr. Kind of.
I have Gallup a little higher than him, but I feel that. No, that makes sense.
It depends on where you're at. I mean, what's going to happen? Gallup, is he going to have like a Corey Davis type resurgence?
Yeah.
And then like a new team. I just don't see an opportunity for him to put himself in a position to go to another team and have a significant role. He's more of like a David Moore coming out of Seattle type situation to me.
That's fair. My things on Hines and McKissick, they're not consistent, but I'll put it this way. Danny had a trade in place. He was going to take McKissick off of me for a second-round pick. He backed out of it at the last second.
Good for him.
McKissick would have won him a championship.
Oh.
Had he done that trade, he was doing it right before the playoffs. Had he done that trade, he would have won, and then he outscored everybody else in the playoffs.
That's funny.
McKissick and Hines, that's why they're both on my roster.
Everybody.
Don't even AJ.
They are on my roster because when you are in a tight spot, these guys can give you 10 to 20 points. It's random and it's tough to trust, but so is a 211 pick.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why I'm fine with it there. Yeah. Obviously, nobody else was because I tried to trade these guys to get into the second round and nobody would bite. But, I mean,
they're not sexy.
I started Nyheim Hines, and he got me 26 points, and I won a game that got me into the playoffs this year.
Yeah, you picked him on the waiver wire.
Off the waiver wire. Like, these guys have value. Like, they're good enough in the roles that they provide in their offense. Now, McKissick, probably on the way out. It didn't Jarrett Patterson go to Washington? Somebody went to Washington. That's a pass catcher.
Yeah, Patterson did.
Yeah, so he's on the way out. But they do have a role, and that's kind of what I think for the late second round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also had both of them and watched them every week and saw them put up 10 points.
Yeah, I lost to Hines that week. You know, it's a heartbreaker.
All right, you guys are ready. I was going to say hot take 2023 James Robinson of the Philadelphia Eagles.
I like that a ton.
Yeah.
There's a million teams that need a guy like that.
Yeah. And I could say if his contract, if he's Miles Sanders is a free agent in 2023, let him go. Bring in a James Robinson. That's probably not going to be that expensive because he probably didn't play a lot because of Travis Etienne. But anyway, sorry. I just thought of that.
That's really that. I
and
like
it could
that.
change the world.
Exactly. So let's go through the 6th pick. We're just going to dive into 3 because we're only at 30 minutes. So
39.
We had 9 goof off minutes. Your acid story. I'll get that out. No, so yeah, let's do 301 to 306. So it went 301 Elijah Mitchell, 302
Nice.
Nico Collins, 303 Mac Jones, 304 Dyami Brown, 305 Brevin Jordan, and 306 Javian Hawkins. All right, so let's just burn through these. So I'll also go to Christian because he traded into the 301 to get Elijah Mitchell.
Yeah, I think I may have overpaid for the 301 a little bit. I traded Paris Campbell straight up for the 301. I think Paris Campbell's worth 2 third-round picks, in my opinion.
I think he's worth more than Amon Ra St Brown.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, a guy that he can't stay healthy, but when he is on the field, he is a playmaker. And I mean, he played week 1 last year and got 12 targets or something crazy. Regardless, though, basically, and this is kind of the
Buckeye
free-flowing way that trades and dynasty drafts work, is the guy wanted Paris Campbell. He wanted me to do the trade. I wanted 2/3. He didn't want to do it. He said he would give me the 3-1, and I said, fine, but I'm not doing it until draft day. I'm not going to do this trade because that's going to be the way I get my value, is I'm going to wait until,
thing to take.
Yeah, I'm going to wait till draft day. I promise you, I won't give anybody else Paris Campbell, but we've agreed to the 3-1, but if one of my guys that I want is not there, then I'm backing out. I told him that straight up. I had 5 guys that I wanted. Elijah Mitchell happened to fall. I've been on this podcast talking about how sick he's going to be. He proved me right through his workouts. He goes into a system that I think he could be great. And again, yeah, you said it earlier. Sorry, Jeff Wilson, but kind of let's fucking go. And so I traded up and snagged Elijah Mitchell.
It totally...
I overpaid a little bit for a guy I wanted.
I mean...
And it works out.
It was amazing for everybody because we both. I love Trey Sermon. You love Elijah Mitchell.
Yeah,
we've already talked about golden jerseys waving in the wheat, and I think it's a great thing. I also want to say that I guess it's a good thing I didn't have the 204 because I definitely would have given it to you for a future first in Paris Campbell because Ohio State, baby.
I really do love Paris Campbell, and as much as it will be painful if he succeeds now that I've traded him because I held on to him for my first rookie draft, I still hope he does. I love that guy. I think he's very dynamic. He fits in that offense. The only thing holding him back is health.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, I mean, he's healthy in college, though, so it's just been a kind of a nagging thing in the pros. What do you run, like a 4.36 or something?
He's stupid talented. I took him in the first round of our first rookie draft.
106
107?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, you went Font, and then him, and then...
I went him first because Danny, I knew was going to take him, but I knew he liked Hawkinson more than Fant.
So we're all just... fucking over Danny to get our wide receivers.
So I took Campbell, then he took Hawkinson, and I still got Fant.
That's amazing.
Amazing.
Well, I traded him that Hawkinson pick.
I'm excited because that Mostert is eventually going to tweak something. I can't wait for that, like going into that week where it's like you guys like
we're wearing the jerseys. Well,
yeah.
So I'm pretty sure Trey Sermon's going number 28. Do we know what Elijah Mitchell's rocking yet?
I can look it up.
Yeah. I'll just talk about some guys I'd part with to get in the early first.
Third?
Early third. Sorry. I'm not on my early first beer. But I would give up like Philip Lindsay. This is where I had J.D. McKissick and Latavius Murray.
Oh, weird number. 49.
Hell yeah.
What? That's a squared. What's 49 squared? That's funny.
Huh.
I'm going to be with the 49ers. I'm going to be the 49er.
He's showing his loyalty. He's already brown-nosing his way.
That's hilarious. I also threw Derek Carr in here because I don't know if we're going to have time, but I kind of want to look at some of the players that got dropped post-draft to make roster room. And Derek Carr was one of them. And I'm like, fuck, dude, like I would have given you something.
Yeah, I would have too.
So I would have given Derek Carr up for an early third, personally. So and Todd Gurley I threw in here along with Sammy Watkins. So
that's fair. Yeah. AJ, you want to talk about Nico Collins at that 3-2?
I'm really excited because I did trade away Mike Williams and Devin Singletary, and I was happy to do that to grab Zach Wilson, but in return, I definitely wanted the 3-2 because, like we talked about, the guy that I made this trade with didn't value picks, so I knew I could get it. So I went ahead, threw that in there, got it, and I got Nico Collins, and this guy could be a 1 in Houston. There's a lot of question marks there, but this guy's he's big, he's athletic, like doesn't have the production profile, but what receiver does out of Michigan nowadays? And I'm just really excited. It's the third round, and I'm happy. It's a guy I wanted, a guy I'd been targeting, and Daniel didn't get him at the 207. So, once again, I'm really happy about that, and we can just move on through. Mac Jones went at the 3-3.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
A guy who his backup was... I forgot his name, but the Colts back up before they traded for Wentz. Jacob Eason. Mm-hmm. So I think this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, definitely.
No issues with this pick.
Really good value for him there.
Yeah.
And then 304, Dyami Brown.
Love Dyami Brown. I can't talk about enough how much I love him. I'm surprised he didn't go sooner. He was another guy. Yeah. I would have still traded Paris Campbell to get him
Straight up?
He would have been the last two. Those were the last two guys of the like 5 that I liked. Mitchell and Brown.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, just looking at ADP versus what we had happen in our draft, this is one where his ADP is like the 2.9.
yeah.
So he was a
I think that
faller.
makes sense. It's surprising to me. I honestly hate to keep harping on it, but the fact that Amon Ra St. Brown went over Dyami Brown is insane to me.
Yeah, Amon Ra's got a 2.6 ADP.
I think it's at
which
that
is right
point
where he
it's-
hits.
Oh wow, that's
But not
surprising
a lot
to
of
me.
people have watched the film that we've watched.
Yeah. Well, it makes
Apparently.
sense. It's everyone wants the now, and you got Scary Terry, and you got
Curtis Samuel.
Curtis Samuel there now, so I can see how people would be scared off. But like, he's a totally different receiver than both of those guys.
Yeah,
and you
for
got
sure.
Fitz in there, hanging dong
Yeah.
every play.
Whatever.
So we'll see what happens. To burn through the rest, so Brevin Jordan.
like that pick there, 3-5.
Same with
Smart.
Nico Collins, man. It's just like the opportunity to be the alpha in that offense at the tight end position is beautiful. So
Javian Hawkins, dumb that,
okay,
that.
He's 3.7 ADP.
yeah,
Really?
yeah. I mean, just because of the Atlanta thing, but I mean, we watched film on him. He can run in a straight line, so that's good.
Yeah, I mean, there's no love for any of the Louisville fellows. Pretty much
Hey,
where we're
Louisville gave me the best corner outside of Charles Woodson I've ever watched play in Green Bay, but
I mean, they also gave you Lamar Jackson, but this
You
class
talking
is
about
a little-
Kevin King?
no, I'm talking about Jair Alexander, dog.
I know.
Kevin King was Washington.
I know. I was just a jab.
No.
But yeah, I mean, I don't hate that pick in the 3rd round.
Okay.
I think it's appropriate.
I've always been very low on Javian Hawkins, so that
Same.
might just be me coming out.
Let me just say something crazy to you because I've started cheating on looking. I typed up last year's draft, and Anthony McFarland went at the 2.7. So
Yeah.
if you think about that versus, would you rather? You know what I mean? I would rather have Javian Hawkins than Anthony McFarland, and this will miss a
I think it's
whole round
easy to say
later.
that now.
Sure.
Because we know what McFarland did, but honestly, I don't know that much about McFarland. Like how
Maryland guy,
He's from
right?
Maryland, yeah. Actually played football with Tomlin's son, who was in Maryland, so that was kind of a huge bump for him.
Yeah.
The familiarity. But anyway, obviously Najee is up in there now. So last year of that, James White went right there at that same pick level. So.
Yeah.
mine's
get
a
weird.
size thing, 100%, because McFarland is 5'8", 208.
Yep.
I like that. We did my 3 tiers of
100%.
running back. Javen Hawkins is 5'9", 183. I have no interest in that whatsoever. And maybe that's
Well-
me reading way too much into...
We've all seen the
We
tape.
talked about the past game work. He's too small to not have any good receiving work.
Yeah, and he's too small to run a 4.5 also. Like,
Yeah.
I don't...
He's too small to be successful behind Atlanta's
He's also
Yeah, I'm just not
he was
interested.
just
I
also-
so
size
yeah,
of,
I would probably want
Mike
McFarland.
Davis's thigh, apparently.
They're both terrible. Like I don't want either of them, but if you made me choose, I'd probably pick
and
McFarland.
undrafted. So let's just reveal the rest of this. We'll go through it, and then we'll go into people that weren't drafted. So
Cool.
let's go 3.7 Josh Palmer, 3.08 Cornell Powell, 3.09 Tutu Atwell,
Yeah.
3.10 Simi Fehoko, 3.11 Dwayne Eskridge, 3.12 Rhomandre Stevenson. So I'll just start this one off because I picked Josh Palmer, unloaded Mike Williams, got Josh Palmer. Mike Williams on his last
Makes total sense.
year of the contract,
5th year.
and so he's gone. They're not going to re-sign him, and they brought this guy in, and I love him. He's got 3rd round draft capital. It was in the 3rd round, I'm pretty sure.
Sounds right to me.
So I mean, Justin Herbert. What's not to love about Justin Herbert and his receiver?
78 overall.
If I can get a receiver on the LA Chargers for a future Josh Herbert team, like I'm happy. So
Yeah, that Justin Herbert fella.
it actually, you know, I'll tell you, or Justin Herbert. Sorry, I said Josh. It actually just felt really good because you know when you go into a draft with a plan, my plan was 307 Josh Palmer, and so it just feels good.
Yeah, I mean, you got Nico Collins, Josh Palmer, and Zach Wilson. So you came out of the bargain bin with smiles for miles.
I feel the same way getting Cornell Powell
that's
at
a good
the
one.
3.8.
This is just funny. We'll talk like the ADP for Josh Palmer is a 4.5.
Cornell Powell's a 5.8.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make
I mean,
sense
yeah,
to me,
it's
but like
this is the area of the draft where ADP doesn't really matter.
yeah, I just think Powell fits that offense so well. He really is replacing Sammy Watkins. And then dude, go watch that tape. Yeah, he absolutely is an upgrade on Sammy Watkins. Go watch that tape when he was playing with Trevor Lawrence's backup, and he just destroyed Notre Dame. I think I'm getting maybe too hyped on him. I was so happy when he fell. I didn't think he would. I want running backs. That's why I took Mitchell first. As soon as I took Mitchell and then Dyami Brown went, I was like, all right, Powell. Nobody take Powell. Nobody take Powell. Yeah. And I got my guy, and I'm so stoked on it. I was watching tape with Danny before he flew back to North Carolina, and dude, I'm getting even more and more excited. I'm probably gonna buy a Cornell Powell jersey whenever they officially announce his number. I can look it up for sure.
What do you got on this, Daniel?
Well, so we're going Simi Fehoko. That was another Christian pick, so I'll let him talk about it. That's cool that someone took Tutu Atwell. I took Dwayne Eskridge.
Yeah, go.
At the 311. Did you get the...
No, maybe.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, that's definitely on that.
Normally NFL.com doesn't.
I like... I really like Cornell Powell a lot, but... if you were talking about Senior Bowl tape, because you ought to with him because it was pretty solid. I watched the one-on-ones with Eskridge, and that shit was awesome. He was Seattle's first pick of the draft in the second round.
Yeah,
so
crazy.
I was all about Dwayne Eskridge. There were a ton of guys I wanted to take here, including Rhomandre, which I probably should have done. But I just got to thinking, man, that first pick of the draft, you know, everything that I like about Eskridge, I had to take him, man. I just had to do it. So, whatever.
Cornell's Powell was a 36.5 inch.
Ah, shit.
For
42. That's like immature.
That was immature.
Yeah.
I thought he hit a 40 for some reason, but yeah. Anyway,
Tutu went way later than I thought, which I'm actually impressed and surprised by the people in our dynasty league. I thought
probably listen to the podcast.
That's probably true.
His draft capital, I thought, would have pushed him into the second round, but I think this is a good spot for him. You know, you take a shot on him, whatever. And honestly, kind of what I'm doing with Simi Fehoko, with Gallup leaving, a 6'4" dude that runs a 4.4, whatever. Like, I'll take a chance on it, and I'll just sit on him.
Stanford, man. Smart dude.
Yeah. You just got to watch out for Brendan Eagles, bro.
Who else do they got? They got Brandon Marshall, too, huh? That running back.
Oh,
Brandon Knox
out of Marshall.
Yeah. They got all kinds of weird sleepers in Dallas.
I actually really like the Simi Fehoko pick.
For sure.
A lot because...
I would have taken him if he was there at the...
Nice. Well, that's good to know. I like that validation.
I mean, especially at the 310. I mean, like, who else are you taking? But, Rhomandre goes 312. That was a guy I've been talking a lot about, and I was really hoping he didn't get drafted here because I would have thrown the fab at this.
That sounds crazy, but I didn't pick him just because I wanted to see the fab bids, man. I wanted to see. This guy's been talking about him since February.
I would have dropped probably like 16, like straight up, like got 16. My guy. But
like that.
This is a good segue. That's the end of the third. This is a good segue into free agency where I spent $3 and got Kylan Hill.
There you go.
So I'm okay with it. But so besides that, like we can kind of talk. A surprised Tylan Hill. I mean, are we surprised Tylan Wallace? Sorry, are we surprised Tylan Wallace wasn't drafted?
He wasn't picked up on waivers either, was
No,
he?
I'm not surprised at all.
He's got an ADP at 212, and
That's insane to me.
it's in Baltimore.
Like I get his talent, but like
I think the industry hyped the fuck out of him pre-draft.
Yeah. I like
they
Tylan
include
Wallace.
this guy.
Yeah, no, I did, but I don't understand why. Honestly, I look at our draft board. I want every single person on that board before I want Tylan Wallace, and that includes
Tutu Atwell?
Tutu and Rhomandre Stevenson, who
You hate.
I hate because like I love Tylan Wallace, but he needed to go to the right offense, and being the fifth guy in the Baltimore offense is not. That's not it.
Yeah, and the fucked up thing is it's not like there's vets in there, you know.
Yeah.
You're behind Hollywood Brown. You're behind Devin Duvernay, who was a rookie last year. Obviously,
Rashad
Rashad
Bateman.
Bateman is
Sammy
crushing that.
Watkins.
Sammy,
And you
is-
gotta Sammy Watkins, and you gotta remember Mark Andrews too. He's
Yeah,
not gonna give up
absolutely.
targets. Like, so you're the sixth option.
if they want that offense to work, he's gonna have to give up targets.
Yeah. Well,
But yeah, it's not gonna.
but he's not gonna give up
Tylan Wallace.
he's not gonna give him up to Tylan Wallace. He's gonna give him up to Rashad Bateman.
Yeah,
Like,
this is a lot like the Anthony Schwartz thing, where it's like, you know, he's a great wide receiver, but I don't trust Baker to need a deep target. I really don't trust
Lamar.
Tylan's skill set with Lamar
Yeah.
as a quarterback.
Yeah, that was so strange. So yeah, you mentioned Anthony Schwartz. He also went undrafted.
But he picked up on
the
waivers.
waivers. And then we got Jamar Jefferson and Seth Williams, also undrafted. These guys both had Jamar Jefferson 308 ADP, Seth Williams 310. I don't think anything really surprises us there.
No.
I was glad to see that Danny picked up Chris Evans. I think that's a really smart move.
Makes sense. He has Joe Mixon. I don't know
sure.
why you wouldn't go for it.
Yeah, throw Puka up there too, Danny. Come on, man.
Do it.
Waste those spots. And we had also Larry Roundtree come off the board. So old Darther here.
That's insane to me that Roundtree has a higher ADP than Cornell Powell. Get the absolute fuck out of here.
I
Crazy.
mean, you know, you talk about positional scarcity, man.
I guess.
I know that no one believes me in the world. I rostered Justin Jackson for 2 years. I believe in him as a player, but I think Larry's going to come in and shake some stuff up, man.
Yeah.
I think he's got a shot. I even like Darius Bradwell, which probably nobody even knows who that is, but he's also a running back with the Chargers. So
Yeah, Josh Kelly's about to get fucking cut, dude.
I just really believe in Larry Roundtree.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
He's not fast, but he can get first downs.
That's fair.
That's all you need.
I was going to bring these guys up before we go into the guys that we dropped. So the remaining dudes from our mock draft that we did, Jalen Darden, Amir Smith-Marset, Kylan Granson, and Chris Evans. Chris Evans got picked up. Alternatively, we did not draft Tutu Atwell, Brevin Jordan, Mac Jones, Javian Hawkins.
Okay.
I don't think that's much of a surprise. I think it was just a result of us three drafting picks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think any of these
I
guys
still like
deserve.
Smith-Marset a
Like,
lot.
are you surprised that any of these guys didn't get drafted?
Darden's surprising to me, but I don't know who.
50-50.
Yeah, I don't know who would have gone in front of him. You know, I don't know who he would have taken their place.
I mean, the only person I can think is maybe Simi Fehoko, but I also like what Simi Fehoko could do.
Yeah, and
So,
and that's a
at that
complete like gut feeling that I just like
Right.
Fehoko better.
I mean, yeah, the same with Jalen Darden, but also Simi Fehoko has better.
Yeah,
I shortlisted him for the 311,
Yeah.
but second round pick.
I'm more surprised that he didn't get picked up after the draft. Like, that's more surprising to me than him not getting drafted.
Well,
I wish I could change that vote on the taxi squad thing.
All right.
See, it definitely would have been.
I mean, but there's a lot of mouths to feed there in Tampa Bay, so I'm not like
That's true.
overly surprised either. But if we want to cut, we'll talk about the guys that got dropped and anything else you guys want to talk about.
Okay.
So turn over to the gurus. I'm gonna shut the.
Okay, I'm just gonna. I just got like a screenshot on my phone. If we're into this, I'm just gonna read the guys that got cut and jump in if you want to talk about someone. So the guys that got cut to make roster room: John Brown, Las Vegas.
Like John Brown.
I think that he's probably a player that should have been rostered.
Mm-hmm.
Colin Johnson for Jacksonville. He was great out of Texas. He had some surprising stuff last year, but I'm pretty sure no dice on this year, I don't think.
Rashad Higgins.
Booker got cut. That's fine.
Whatever.
David Moore for the Panthers got cut. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Tim Patrick. Rashad Higgins. I thought that was kind of a bad call.
Same.
Derek Carr, worse call, but whatever. That was dropped by the person who drafted Justin Fields, so obviously they didn't feel the need for that. They also have Dak Prescott, I believe.
Yeah.
So Jalen Hurd, that's overdue. Garoppolo got dropped. Drew Lock got dropped. I thought that was surprising.
Yep.
Kiki QT, I'm fine with that, although there's a lot of opportunity for him with Houston. Tevin Coleman, I kind of thought that was a bad call as well.
Yeah, I think he could find a role because they only got Michael Carter with the Jets.
And LaMichael P. Ryan.
Thank you.
Oh my God,
This fucking guy.
Sure.
Cool. We'll make you a homemade P. Ryan jersey because that's the only way you get one. Jacob Eason was dropped. Makes sense.
That makes sense.
Benny Schnell. Yeah.
Cool.
Deshaun Jackson.
That's fine. Taysom Hill.
Go for it.
Keelan Cole. I dropped him because they've got 3 people there that fit the same role, and Keelan Cole is probably on their way out.
I'm with you.
Oh, so 3 of the guys that Ian offered me in a trade, he dropped. So
I'm glad he took my trade because it would have been the same thing. But yeah, Carlos Hyde's out. Is this Darwin Thompson? I kind of feel like he should have held, personally. I was kind of surprised you dropped the Chicago Bears defense.
they lost Kyle Fuller, and they're going to trade Akeem Hicks.
Yeah.
Those are 2 of their best players, and Khalil Mack proved last year that as sick as he is, he needs help.
Yeah.
And now he's got less help.
I'd also mention James Washington and A.J. Green, and the Los Angeles Chargers were also dropped.
I dropped A.J. Green. Yeah.
I dropped the rest of those guys. The Chargers I'm kind of sad about, but
I dropped A.J. Green to pick up the New England defense, who I am more excited than Chicago because they're getting guys back instead of losing guys. And to be fair, I probably should have kept Chicago over Green Bay, but I'm just not going to drop the Green Bay defense.
sure.
Like,
I
I
know how you are.
Yeah. I think they... whatever. We can get into that in another...
Yeah, I think we'll probably break down defenses one of these years.
Yeah. But, like, New England getting Hightower back, and then they signed Judon and these guys, and Bill wants to prove that his defense is sick. I didn't need more receivers, so... I think A.J. Green has a role to play. Somebody should go pick him up. But I just don't need him.
I hate to think that I'll pick him up because my roster is 70% wide receivers, so I really can't at this point. Emmanuel Sanders was also dropped. I thought that was kind of fishy. I know he's, 34?
Yeah, he's pretty old.
I mean, yeah.
He could produce.
I think in the Bills' offense, there's opportunity. But yeah, I missed all the people who were dropped for waivers, so good call. I personally dropped James Washington. Spite drop. No. I don't know. I guess I'm getting out of Pittsburgh's offense. I don't really trust Big Ben anymore. And I dropped the
Neither
Chargers
does
defense, which means Darwin James is going to be 100% healthy.
I did think that was spicy. I wish I had a roster spot. I would pick them up.
I wanted to keep him, but it's just the time of the year where you don't need to roster 2 defenses.
No, I definitely get that.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have, but I was super high on the New England defense and just didn't want to get rid of Green Bay,
yeah.
So.
No, you're good. I had Tampa Bay's defense.
Well, yeah.
And they brought everyone back.
Yeah, clearly you're not going to.
But I really love the Chargers defense. Man, I like Nasir Adderley. I like everything they're doing there. And I think it's going to be awesome, but whatever.
Yeah. Well,
I think that's it.
yeah, I think that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed our draft review trade analysis. Make sure you watch part 1. This is part 2 of 1. And yeah, we're going to go. We got a whole itinerary jam-packed for you guys. So we're going to go through third-year players and second-year players. So just stay tuned. We're eventually going to review all of your favorite teams, even if you're liking the Green Bay Packers.
I think we've done that enough.
Right.
This is 20% Packers coverage.
Hey, any parting words?
No, I just got to say, obviously, if you're watching this on YouTube, but you're a busy person, just hit us up on any of your podcast apps, Spotify. Just download and listen to it in the car. I like to listen to the sound of my own voice, but not as much as I like to listen to my fellow host here. So
Yeah,
I'm always listening. So
we're over 50 downloads, and I think we'll do a giveaway for the 69th download.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
Except for I know it's going to be Daniel.
I know. I've downloaded every one of our episodes because I ain't paying for mobile data.
Hey guys, thanks a lot. Rough Draft Research. We're out.
See you next week.
Peace out.
Oh, I'm
that's
stepping on
fine.
it. It makes sense.
Yeah, just push it up. Twist to the side.
That's right, everybody. I'm not perfect.